Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with some Khans of Tarkir set review action, and in this one we're gonna look at the colorless cards. So we're gonna start with the cycle. This is the banner cycle. So they are one for each card clans, and then they are colorless and colorless artifacts, 3 mana casting cost. Essentially a mana rock. They produce any of the colors of the clan. So Mardu produces red, white, or black. And then they have a second ability for the complete color, like Mardu. So red, white, black. You can tap it, sacrifice it, and then you can draw a card. So these cards are actually very, very good. Like it lets you go multiple colors, splash in anything off color, and then when you have like I don't know 10 lands in play and you don't need them anymore, you can just cash them in for a card. So yeah, I'm a big fan. These are common. You're gonna see them in packs. And if you have 5 color aspirations and dreams, these are your go-to or some of them. You're gonna see some other cards. So yeah, so these 5 cards here. Then we have a rare Altar of Brood. Altar of the Brood. So it's a 1 mana artifact, pretty cheap. And whenever another permanent enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent puts the top card of his or her library into his or her graveyard. So yeah, so limited, I don't know, it has limited applications, but it's part of a lot of infinite combos. Like some of them was standard legal at the time, and then obvious there's a lot of them in common there. So yeah, overall it is a good card for constructed. I don't think it's very good for limited. Then we're gonna have Briber's Purse. Now this, however, I think is pretty good. So it's an X mana artifact, and it enters with X gem counters on it, which you can use to bribe other creatures. And for 1 and a tap, remove a gem counter from this artifact. Target creature can't attack or block this turn. So this is your IC manipulator. The bigger you cast it, yeah, essentially the more counters you have and the more times you can tap out your opponent's creatures or make them not attack or block. And this could be very useful in a board style situation where they only have one very good blocker. You can, decommission that one and push them through. Graveyard Archive. So that's Elixir of Immortality weak version. So it's a 2 mana artifact, and for 2 exile, you can exile it. Target player shuffles that graveyard into their library and draw a card. I don't know if you see a very good like graveyard deck from Sutai, then this could be a sideboard. Otherwise, I wouldn't stress over this card. This is just not good in this format. Dragon Throne of Tarkir, however, this one's a good one. So it's a 4 mana equipment. It's 3 to equip, which is pretty hefty price tag. But an equipped creature has Defender, and you can spend 2 mana, tap it. Other creatures you control gain Trample and +X until end of turn, where X is the creature's power. So this is kind of like a repeatable overrun. And this format, like we used to see board stalls in it. So sometimes, like what you need is really like get one of your Outlast creatures, which is like a 3/4. Snap this one on them and then just keep overrunning your opponent. Yeah, I think this card is pretty solid. Ghost Fireblade, now that's another solid card. So it's a 1 mana equipment, equip creature get +2/+2, and it's 3 to equip, which is a lot normally. But the next clause is this equipment equip ability costs 2 less to activate if it targets a colorless creature. So artifact creatures and morphs. So morphs are colorless in this format, and there's a lot of morphs, so that's what you do. You have Ghost Fireblade, slap it up on them, and then your 2/2 morph becomes a 4/4. Especially with morph, if you are not really planning to flip up anyway. Yeah, they make them all a beater. And the card is very, very cool. Heartpiece Servo, so it's a 2 mana bow equipment. Whenever equipped creature attacks, this equipment deals 1 damage to target creature defending player controls, and is equipping 1. Yeah, that card is not terrible. Like there are goblin tokens in the format X ones. I would probably start in sideboard because it doesn't damage his players. If it was damaging players, that would be very, very good. But yeah, but since it doesn't do that, like you want to see if your opponent is slow to the ground, deck with X ones, and then you bring it in. Lens of Clarity, so it's a 1 mana artifact common. You may look at the top card of your library and add face down creatures you don't control at any time. So this, unfortunately, as good as it sounds, is actually not good. It just doesn't work a card. If you have like proper play skill, you're gonna know what morphs your opponent may be having, and then you can deduct those conclusions. Like literally playing a card for this ability, it does not worth the effort. So yeah, Sorry, Lance, but this is what it is. Ugin's Nexus, so it's a 5 mana legendary artifact. If a player would begin an extra turn, that player skips that turn instead. There aren't too many ways for them to get extra turns, so this is irrelevant. And if it would be put into a graveyard from the battlefield, instead exile it and take an extra turn after this one. So this is absolutely unplayable in limited. There's no scenarios where you put this card in your deck. But it's, it has constructed applications or cube applications or something where extra turns are, really, really obnoxious. For example, the Narset deck used to be one of them in Commander. But anyway, avoid this in limited like the plague. And then Witness of the Ages, so it's an artifact creature golem, it has a more 5 and it's a 4/4. Yeah, I mean, it is a serviceable body, nothing impressive here. If you need to fear somehow a curve at one point, then this might be something, but it's not a good card. Then we have a couple basic lands, nice artwork, but non-basics, however, it's going to be an important piece of this format too. So we have the gainland cycle. So these are two colors. Each of them, they enter the battlefield tap, and when they enter, you gain 1 life, and they tap for 2 colors. So Tranquil Cove for Azorius, Dismal Backwater for Dimir, Bloodfell Caves for what is this? Ragdos, Rugged Highland for Gruul, Blossoming Sand for Selesnya, Scoured Barrens for Orzhov, Swiftwater Cliff for Izzet, and we're gonna have the last two, Jungle Hollow for Golgari and Winscard Crag for Boros, so last three, so Thornwood Falls for Simic, and that's it. So these are pretty good fixing. They are on common level, so you're gonna see them in packs. And then if again you have 4 or 5 color aspirations, then these are your go-to. You wanna pick them highly. And now the last cycle of these lands, or like the non-rare lands, is the color triland. So these are the real deal. This is what makes like 3 colors that really thick. So we have one for each of the clans again. Nomad Outpost for Mardu, we have Frontier Bivouac for Timur, we have Step Citadel for Abzan, Mystic Monastery for Jeskai, and Opulent Palace for Sultai. And what they do, they enter the battlefield tap, and they tap for one of each of any of the colors of that clan. So it's really, really good. Like if you can see these, they are very, very high. Pick in this format, you make the mana work, and then you just keep being rewarded in pack 2 and pack 3 by being able to pick powerful cards. And then we have the fetch lands, which are a lot worse if you don't have fetchable type dual lands, which this set doesn't. But still, nonetheless, in limited, it's very, very good fixing. Bloodstained Mire for Ragdos, Flooded Strand for Azorius, Polluted Delta for Dimir, and Windswept Heat and Wildfoot for Hears for Selesnya and Grew respectively. And then they enter on tap, you can tap it, pay your life, and then you can search one of the basics of these colors. Yep, these are still very, very good. They fill the graveyard for a number of cards like Treasure Cruise, Dig Through Time, that might be important, and they fix your mana. So yeah, so you still take them. Obviously, if there was like fetchable dual types, this would be insane. Then we have Tomb of the Spirit Dragon. So this is a land. It adds colorless mana, very good with Eldrazi, which is not in the set. So don't look for that. And for 2 mana, you gain 1 life for each colorless creature you control. Like it's an edge case scenario. I don't think this card is very good. But if you have an aggressive matchup, yeah, you play morphs, and this might be doing some cushion. It is 2 to tap though. This format is not super fast, but not as slow either. That this you can just turtle around for 2 mana. So I don't know. Like, give it a try. I wasn't playing it too much back then, and I wasn't missing it certainly. And that's colorless for you, ladies and gentlemen. So I think we reviewed key pillars of the format, the multicolor cards, and the mana available. And now we can dive into each of the individual colors and look some of the white cards. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.